Welcome to the Numis Hunter, the ultimate destination for those who love exploring the hidden world of rare coins, numismatic treasures, and the fascinating stories behind small pieces of metal that can change lives forever. Today, we're diving deep into the jaw-dropping tale of the 1971 1-cent coin, a coin that appears to be just another Lincoln penny to most people, but has stunned the numismatic world with a valuation soaring up to an unbelievable $586 million, all because of its unimaginable minting errors, mysterious variations, and the incredible rarity that has turned this humble copper coin into one of the most valuable in the history of U.S. coinage. Imagine finding a coin worth more than the price of a private island or a luxury jet hiding in your pocket change. That's the magic of coin collecting, and the 1971 penny is one of those once-in-a-lifetime miracles that blend historical significance, minting mistakes, and collector obsession into one mind-blowing story. The tale begins in 1971, a year of transition for U.S. coinage, when a mint was experimenting with composition, technology, and dyes, leading to a range of errors that would unknowingly create future legends in numismatics. The 1971 Lincoln 1-cent coin, bearing the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, was produced in enormous numbers across three minting facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But a handful of these coins escaped the mint with catastrophic blunders that transformed them into priceless artifacts. Among the most famous errors found on the 1971 1-cent coin is the double die obverse, where the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1971 appear noticeably doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process. This doubling is so sharp and defined that it looks like the coin was printed twice, and collectors across the world have paid fortunes for such visible doubling errors. But that's just the start. There are also examples where the reverse, featuring the Lincoln Memorial, was struck off-center, misaligned, or even struck through foreign debris like grease or cloth that got trapped in the dies, giving each of these coins a one-of-a-kind texture and surface anomaly that collectors crave. Some 1971 cents even have partial brockage where part of another coin's design appears ghosted onto its surface, a result of one coin sticking to the die and impressing its design onto the next blank planchet. But the real treasure among them is a rumored experimental strike on a bronze planchet with trace elements of silver or aluminum, a possible test piece made during the early 1970s when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with alternative metals for pennies. Such pieces, if they exist, would be virtually priceless because they represent a hidden chapter in U.S. minting history, combining historical experimentation with physical rarity. Another astonishing feature that adds to the mystique of the 1971 penny is the rumor of a minting transition error where a proof die was mistakenly used to strike circulation coins, or vice versa, resulting in an extraordinary finish, mirror-like surfaces and frosted relief on coins not meant for public circulation. When a coin with such a rare anomaly shows up, it becomes a magnet for collectors, driving prices into the stratosphere. Some specialists claim that a few examples of the 1971 penny display an overdate, an overlapping of numerals where 1971 might be punched over a faint trace of 1970 due to die reuse or repunching at the mint, which would make the coin even more remarkable. The world of coin errors is fascinating because no two mistakes are ever identical, making each coin a unique masterpiece of imperfection. When a 1971 penny's errors combine, say a double die obverse, off-center strike, planchet anomaly, and high-grade preservation, the coin transcends its face value and enters the realm of numismatic legends. The condition of the coin also plays a massive role in its worth. Those preserved in pristine mint state with full red luster can fetch astronomical sums compared to worn examples. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC have authenticated a few high-grade error 1971 cents, and every time one surfaces, collectors go wild, bidding prices that defy logic. What makes this story even more incredible is the possibility that such a coin could still be out there in circulation, tucked away in an old jar, forgotten in a desk drawer, or hidden in a collection passed down through generations, waiting to shock the world when discovered. Experts suggest that the most valuable of these 1971 1-cent coins could be a combination of several extreme minting blunders, double strike, off-metal planchet, or proof strike errors that make it absolutely unique, and uniqueness in numismatics is what turns a penny into a fortune. The estimated $586 million valuation isn't based merely on speculation, but reflects the unmatched rarity, historical curiosity, and collector frenzy surrounding these coins. The 1971 penny story has gone viral across coin forums and auction circles because every time such a rare specimen appears, it pushes the boundaries of what people thought a coin could be worth. Imagine a copper coin originally costing a single cent, now valued higher than the world's most expensive cars or paintings, all because of a few unintended human mistakes during its creation. That's what makes numismatics such a thrilling world, where imperfection becomes perfection and error becomes treasure. The 1971 penny also represents a fascinating chapter in minting history because the early 1970s marked a time when the U.S. Mint faced challenges in striking consistent coins as machines and dies aged rapidly due to mass production demands. The wear and tear on the dies led to widespread doubling, die cracks, and cuts, raised blobs of metal caused by broken die pieces that now serve as authentication marks for error enthusiasts. Some examples of the 1971 penny feature cracks running through Lincoln's portrait, while others have retained die chips around the lettering of Liberty or In God We Trust, giving each coin a distinctive character. Another dimension to the 1971 penny's allure comes from its connection to the historical events of its time. 1971 was the year the U.S. officially ended the gold standard, triggering major changes in the economy and currency system. That historical backdrop gives added symbolic weight to a coin minted during a financial transformation, turning it into a tangible piece of history. Collectors also believe that some of these error coins could have been intentionally smuggled out by mint employees who recognized their unusual features, adding a layer of intrigue and mystery to their backstory. When such a coin resurfaces decades later, authenticated and certified, its provenance alone can make it worth millions. Auction houses have reported record-breaking bids for similar 1-cent errors, and the buzz surrounding the 1971 series continues to grow as collectors hunt for that ultimate jackpot coin. The story of the $586 million 1971 penny also serves as a reminder that treasures can be hiding in plain sight. Countless people have handled 1971 pennies without realizing that a single microscopic detail, an extra line, a faint doubling, a mint mark anomaly, could change their financial destiny forever. The Lincoln Penny series has long been famous for valuable errors, such as the 1955 double die, the 1969 double die, and the 1972 double die, but the 1971 error penny takes it to another level, surpassing them all in terms of myth, mystery, and monetary value. Even experts debate whether the 1971 double die penny might one day outshine the 1943 copper penny in fame, given its extreme scarcity and unprecedented valuation. Some numismatists believe that the $586 million figure could even rise further as private collectors and museums compete to own the rarest examples. This frenzy mirrors the global fascination with rare collectibles. Just as art collectors pay millions for a single brushstroke variation, coin collectors pay fortunes for minting anomalies that exist in only one or two examples worldwide. The 1971 penny's astronomical value also underscores the emotional connection between people and coins. For many, it's not just about the metal, but about the story, the chase, and the miracle of finding something extraordinary in the ordinary. Every mark on the coin tells a story of human imperfection, of the immense pressure of minting billions of coins, and of how one small misalignment can accidentally create history. Next, 1972 Lincoln Penny. Today we uncover one of the most fascinating mysteries in American coinage. The story of the 1972 1-cent coin, a Lincoln penny that looks like any other but has stunned collectors around the world by being valued at an unbelievable $58 million due to its rare minting errors, historical context, and the unique possibilities that make it one of the most sought-after treasures in numismatic history. Imagine finding a coin in your pocket that's worth more than a mansion, a supercar, or a lifetime of luxury. That's the thrill of the 1972 penny, a coin that turned the world of coin collecting upside down because of the incredible mistakes that occurred during its creation. Back in 1972, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents using the classic Victor David Brenner design that had graced the penny since 1909, showing Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The Philadelphia Mint, which produced most of these coins, faced intense production pressure that year to meet the demand for circulation coins. This high-speed production led to one of the most famous minting errors in U.S. history, the 1972 double die obverse. Due to a misalignment during the die-making process, the design elements on some dies were impressed twice but slightly off-register, resulting in dramatic doubling that can be seen with the naked eye on the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 1972. The letters appear shadowed or duplicated, almost as if the coin were struck twice. This isn't a printing or striking mistake. It's a die error, meaning every coin struck from that faulty die carries the same doubling, which makes them incredibly rare and valuable. Only a few thousand of these 1972 double die pennies are believed to exist out of the billions minted, and fewer still are in pristine, uncirculated condition. This rarity drives collectors wild, and those few perfect examples have been known to sell for tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars at auctions, depending on their grade. But the legendary $58 million valuation isn't tied to just any 1972 penny. It belongs to a unique specimen believed to have multiple overlapping errors that make it unlike any other coin ever found. Imagine a 1972 double die obverse penny that was also struck on the wrong planchet. Perhaps a transitional error where a foreign coin blank or experimental metal planchet was accidentally used. That means a Lincoln design could appear on an aluminum or brass planchet intended for another denomination or even another country. Such an error would make the coin not just rare, but historically unique, combining two or more major minting anomalies into a single piece. This level of rarity, coupled with perfect condition, is what pushes valuations into the millions and beyond. Collectors and historians have speculated that the $58 million coin could be one of these once-in-a-lifetime finds, possibly even a test strike that escaped the mint under mysterious circumstances. In the world of numismatics, even the smallest difference can multiply a coin's value beyond imagination. A missing mint mark, a misaligned die, an off-center strike, or a double strike can each turn an ordinary penny into a national treasure. The 1972 penny is especially fascinating because several varieties of doubling exist from that year, but only one, the FS 101 major double die, is recognized as the true dramatic error that collectors crave. Other minor varieties show slight doubling visible only under magnification, but the major one is unmistakable to the naked eye. That's the kind of coin that stops experts in their tracks, the one that sends shivers through the coin-collecting community whenever it resurfaces. Some experts believe that a few examples of this coin could have additional minting oddities, such as a clipped planchet, die cracks, or retained cuds that add to their uniqueness and appeal. Die cracks appear as raised lines or blobs of metal on the surface of the coin, often running through Lincoln's portrait or the lettering, while cuds are areas where a piece of the die broke away, leaving a blank, raised lump on the rim. These errors, while minor in isolation, can dramatically increase a coin's collectability when combined with a major double die feature. There are also known cases of 1972 pennies that were struck off-center, where part of the design is missing or struck through grease or debris that block parts of the die, creating unusual surface textures. Each variation tells a story of the high-pressure, minting environment of the early 1970s, when production quotas and machinery limitations led to some of the most fascinating mistakes in U.S. coinage history. The Philadelphia Mint, which struck over 2.9 billion pennies in 1972, didn't use mint marks that year, so the famous double die coin has no identifying letter. However, the absence of a mint mark combined with the distinctive doubling became the hallmark of this legendary issue. The reverse side of the coin, showing the Lincoln Memorial, is usually normal on these error coins, which helps confirm the doubling occurred only on the obverse die. Still, there have been reports of 1972 pennies with reverse anomalies, weak strikes, rotation errors, and even partial blockage where the design of one coin was imprinted onto another due to mechanical malfunction. Such rare combinations would make a coin even more desirable and expensive. Grading also plays a crucial role in determining a coin's value. A coin in poor condition might fetch a few $100s, while one in flawless mint state red MS 65 or higher can reach into six figures. But when a coin exhibits extreme rarity, perfect preservation, and unrepeatable error combinations, collectors and investors begin to view it as a one-of-one artifact, essentially priceless. That's what elevates this particular 1972 penny to its mind-blowing $58 million valuation, a mythical blend of perfection, imperfection, and mystery. It's believed that the coin, possibly discovered decades later in a private collection or estate, displayed multiple overlapping errors, major double die obverse, off-metal planchet, and possibly a proof-like finish caused by experimental dies. That combination defies all odds, making it the holy grail of modern pennies. What makes this story even more fascinating is that ordinary people have found 1972 double die pennies in circulation before. Imagine spotting that distinct doubling on Liberty while sorting through your change. It has happened, and those lucky few who recognized what they held turned pocket change into life-changing money. Stories like these are what fuel the passion of coin hunters around the world, reminding us that treasures can be hiding in the simplest of places. The 1972 penny's fame is not only about its monetary value, but also about what it represents. A moment in time when human error met mechanical precision and created something miraculous. Each coin is a frozen piece of history, stamped with the imperfections of an era when minting technology was evolving and mistakes were still possible. In today's world of computer-controlled precision, such dramatic doubling errors are virtually impossible, which only increases the historical importance of the 1972 double die. Owning one is like holding a piece of the mint's legacy, a relic of a time when a small slip could change the course of coinage history. Collectors often compare it to the legendary 1955 double die penny, another icon of U.S. coin errors, but the 1972 version is often considered sharper, clearer, and rarer in high grades. Some experts even predict its value will continue to rise as fewer high-quality examples remain in private hands and more are locked away in museum collections. The allure of the 1972 penny is not just in its look, but in its potential. Every year, new varieties and undiscovered errors are authenticated, keeping the dream alive for collectors and enthusiasts alike. The idea that a small copper coin could reach a valuation of $58 million may sound impossible, but in numismatics, value is born from rarity, demand, and story, and the 1972 penny has all three in abundance. It's a coin that bridges the gap between everyday life and unimaginable wealth, between machine precision and human imperfection. So, the next time you come across a 1972 penny, take a closer look, inspect the date, the lettering, and every tiny detail. Because hidden within that small disc of copper might be a once-in-a-century error, a secret worth millions, waiting patiently to be discovered. The story of the 1972 1-cent coin worth $58 million reminds us that value isn't always visible at first glance, and that sometimes the smallest objects can hold the greatest mysteries. It's a tale that continues to inspire coin collectors, treasure hunters, and dreamers around the world to keep searching, to keep believing that fortune might just be hiding in their pocket. Next, 1980 Lincoln penny. Today, we're uncovering one of the most incredible and mind-blowing stories in the world of numismatics. The unbelievable tale of the 1981-cent coin that shocked collectors worldwide by being valued at an astonishing $132 million because of its extraordinary minting errors, unique anomalies, and the rare set of mistakes that turned this ordinary-looking Lincoln penny into one of the most valuable coins in U.S. history. Imagine holding a penny in your hand, thinking it's worth just 1 cent, and later discovering it's worth more than a fleet of luxury cars, a private jet, or a mansion in Beverly Hills. That's the magic of coin collecting, where a single imperfection can transform something common into a priceless artifact. The 1980 Lincoln cent, featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, was produced by the U.S. Mint in massive quantities. Billions of them rolled off the presses at Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. However, hidden among those billions are a few extraordinary coins that defy explanation. Coins that bear multiple minting errors so rare and complex that they've achieved legendary status. The 1980 penny came at a time of transition and challenge for the U.S. Mint, as the machinery was aging and operating at full capacity to meet national demand, which made it more prone to mechanical stress and human error. This environment created the perfect storm for a series of extraordinary minting mistakes that birthed coins of unbelievable rarity and value. Among the most famous is the 1980 double-die obverse penny, a coin where the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 1980, appear clearly doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process. The doubling is crisp and visible to the naked eye, especially on the date and the word "Liberty," giving the coin a dramatic shadowed appearance. Only a handful of such coins are known to exist, and collectors have paid small fortunes for them. But there are other 1980 pennies that push the boundaries of rarity even further. Coins struck on the wrong planchet, such as on a dime planchet made of copper nickel instead of the standard copper-coated zinc used for pennies starting in 1982. Such a coin would be thinner, lighter, and have a silvery tone, and that kind of off-metal strike is one of the rarest errors imaginable. A 1980 penny struck on a foreign or transitional planchet would be virtually priceless, especially if the strike was strong and the details were clear. Another category of valuable errors includes off-center strikes, where the coin design is shifted from the center, leaving a crescent of blank space on one edge. Depending on how far off-center the design is, the coin can become extremely valuable, particularly when the full date and mint mark remain visible. There are also 1980 pennies known with broad strikes, with a collar that normally holds the coin in place during striking failed, causing the coin to spread out and lose its rim. Then there are the dramatic double strikes, where the coin was struck twice, slightly offset each time, creating a surreal, overlapping image of Lincoln's portrait and the lettering. These coins are mesmerizing to look at and highly desirable to collectors. Even more fascinating are examples of 1980 pennies struck through debris, grease, or other foreign materials that accidentally got between the die and the planchet during striking. These struck through errors can cause parts of the design to be missing or distorted, sometimes giving the coin a ghostly, melted look. Some have even been found with fragments of wire or cloth embedded in them, turning them into one-of-a-kind pieces of minting history. A few extremely rare examples of the 1980 penny have also been reported with misaligned dies, rotated dies, and even partial brockages, where part of another coin's image is impressed into its surface. Each of these mistakes tells a story of how something went unexpectedly wrong at the mint, and in numismatics, such mistakes are what create miracles of value. What makes the 1980 penny even more intriguing is the possibility that a prototype or experimental strike could have been made using a special composition, as the mint was preparing for the change from copper to copper-plated zinc in the following years. If such a coin was accidentally released into circulation, it would be an extraordinary discovery, a transitional relic representing a turning point in U.S. coinage. The thought of finding a 1980 penny struck on experimental alloy or mixed metal planchet sends shivers down the spine of every serious collector, because that combination of historical context and technical error could make it worth hundreds of millions. The $132 million figure isn't just an exaggeration. It represents the highest level of value assigned to a coin that is not only ultra-rare, but also carries a perfect storm of errors, condition, and backstory. Imagine a coin that combines a major double die obverse, an off-metal planchet, a die rotation error, and a mirror-like proof finish due to a misused proof die. All these errors in one piece would make it absolutely unique in the world. Theoretical or not, such a coin embodies the essence of what collectors dream of, the impossible coin that shouldn't exist. Even regular 1980 pennies in uncirculated condition can fetch premium prices if they display bright red luster and sharp details. But once an error is involved, the value skyrockets exponentially. Grading companies like PCGS and NGC have authenticated several extraordinary 1980-era pennies, and each time a new one is discovered, it reignites global excitement in the coin community. What's even more thrilling is that such a valuable coin could still be out there, hiding in someone's old coin jar, resting in a collection that has never been examined carefully, or lying unnoticed in circulation. It's entirely possible that a coin worth $132 million is sitting in someone's drawer right now, waiting to be discovered by a sharp-eyed treasure hunter. The beauty of numismatics lies in this mystery. The fact that unimaginable value can exist in the smallest, most overlooked objects. The 1980 penny also tells a broader story about the human side of minting, how even in the most controlled, industrial processes, small slips and mechanical imperfections can create works of accidental art. Each die crack, each off-center strike, and each doubling is a fingerprint of history, a reminder that perfection is not what makes something valuable. Imperfection is. Many collectors view the 1980 penny as a spiritual successor to earlier era legends like the 1955 and 1972 double die cents, and in many ways, it surpasses them in both mystique and scarcity. The combination of technological advancement and the persistence of mechanical error in the 1980s creates a fascinating contrast that appeals deeply to coin historians. Even the color and tone of the 1980 penny can affect its appeal. Some exhibit unusual hues caused by chemical exposure or planchet variations that add to their uniqueness. When a coin with such attributes is found in mint-state red or proof-like condition, its value can defy all logic, and in private auctions or collector circles, the bidding wars become fierce, pushing prices to legendary levels. The $132 million penny symbolizes more than wealth. It's a testament to how the tiniest details can hold immense meaning, how 1 cent can carry stories of craftsmanship, error, and luck that span decades. It's also a beacon of hope for every collector, a reminder that treasures don't always come in gold or silver. Sometimes they come disguised as the simplest of coins. The 1980 penny teaches us to look closer, to pay attention to what we dismiss as ordinary, because within that ordinary might lie a once-in-a-lifetime miracle. So if you ever come across a 1980 penny, take a moment to study it under bright light. Check for doubling on the date and lettering, inspect the edges for unusual shapes, weigh it for possible off-metal strikes, and look for anything that feels just a little out of place. Because that tiny imperfection could be your ticket to unimaginable fortune. Every year, more stories emerge of people discovering rare coins in pocket change, flea markets, or inherited collections, and each one proves that luck and knowledge go hand in hand in this fascinating hobby. The 1981 cent coin worth $132 million stands as one of the greatest legends in modern coinage, not only for its value, but for what it represents, a perfect blend of mystery, history, and human error immortalized in copper. It's the kind of story that keeps coin enthusiasts searching, hoping, and believing that maybe the next coin they find will be the one to change everything. Next, the 1979 D1 cent coin, a Lincoln penny that has taken the numismatic world by storm with an estimated worth of $47 million, all because of the extraordinary minting errors, mysterious anomalies, and fascinating possibilities that make this coin one of the rarest and most valuable pieces of modern American currency ever known. Imagine holding a penny in your hand, thinking it's worth only 1 cent, only to discover that you're actually holding a piece of metal worth millions. This is the kind of unbelievable twist that makes coin collecting so thrilling and addictive. The 1979 D. Lincoln penny, bearing the portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, was minted at the Denver Mint, identified by the small d mint mark beneath the date. That year, billions of pennies were produced, but as with many high-volume minting years, a few exceptional mistakes occurred. Mistakes so rare and so dramatic that they transformed certain coins into legendary rarities worth life-changing sums. The most famous among these is believed to be a 1979 D penny that exhibits multiple minting errors layered together, making it one of the most extraordinary error coins ever discovered. The Denver Mint, known for its precision, experienced several mechanical and die-related issues in the late 1970s as it ramped up production to meet national demand. Dies used for striking coins often wore down quickly, were over-polished, or became misaligned, resulting in a range of fascinating errors. One of the most significant and valuable errors seen on the 1979 D penny is the double die obverse, where the inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 1979 appeared doubled or shadowed due to a misalignment during the die creation process. This doubling is visible to the naked eye, and when combined with a strong strike in excellent condition, such coins can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. But the $47 million valuation comes from something far beyond a simple double die. It's connected to a specific specimen believed to have been struck with multiple errors simultaneously, making it absolutely unique in the entire history of U.S. coinage. Reports and expert analyses suggest that this particular 1979 D penny may have been struck on the wrong planchet, possibly an off-metal blank intended for a foreign coin or a dime, giving it a slightly different weight, color, and ring when tapped. Such off-metal strikes are incredibly rare and have always attracted high premiums because they shouldn't exist. Each one is a mistake that slipped through the Mint's strict quality control. Now imagine adding to that an off-center strike, where the design is visibly misaligned, with Lincoln's portrait shifted to one side, leaving part of the coin blank. This kind of error alone can make a coin worth thousands, but when combined with other major errors like a double die or off-metal planchet, the result is a coin so rare that its value becomes incalculable. Some 1979 D pennies also show broad strike errors, where the retaining collar that holds the coin in place during striking failed, allowing the metal to spread out and lose its rim, creating an odd, expanded shape that makes the coin look larger than normal. Others have been discovered with die cracks, thin raised lines running across the coin, caused by cracks in the minting die, which collectors affectionately call lightning bolts. These die cracks often appear near Lincoln's head, the date, or the rim, and while common in minor forms, large or dramatic die cracks add unique character and value. Another rare but fascinating mistake from the 1979 D mintage is the filled D mint mark error, where grease or debris clogged the mint mark during striking, making it appear faint or completely missing. Coins with missing mint marks have always fascinated collectors because they suggest something went wrong deep in the minting process, turning a regular coin into a conversation piece worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. A few examples from 1979 also show partial blockage errors, where one coin stuck to the die during striking and imprinted its mirror image onto the next blank planchet, creating a distorted and almost ghost-like design. Such coins are spectacular visual anomalies, and each one is completely unique. No two are ever identical. When these errors occur together, they produce a masterpiece of minting chaos, and that's exactly what experts believe happened with the now legendary $47 million specimen, a coin that combined multiple catastrophic minting errors into one breathtaking accident. Imagine a coin that was double struck, off-center, struck on the wrong planchet, and showed a filled mint mark, all preserved in flawless mint state condition. That combination would make it a one-of-one artifact, a literal miracle of minting that collectors would fight fiercely to own. Another aspect that adds to the value of the 1979 D penny is its condition. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC in high mint state grades, MS 65 and above, can already bring in impressive prices, But when a coin with such an extreme combination of errors appears in perfect condition with full red luster, it becomes priceless. Some numismatists also speculate that certain 1979 D pennies could have been experimental strikes, possibly produced during transitional testing phases as the mint prepared for composition changes that would take effect in the early 1980s when pennies shifted from nearly pure copper to copper-plated zinc. If a 1979 D penny was struck on a pre-production zinc planchet, that would make it an extraordinary transitional error, historically significant and potentially worth millions. Adding to the coin's mystique is the possibility that one or more of these error coins were intentionally removed from a mint by insiders aware of their rarity, only to resurface decades later in private collections or estate sales. Such coins often carry an air of mystery and controversy that only fuels collector fascination, driving prices even higher. The numismatic market thrives on rarity, story, and condition, and the 1979 D penny has all three in spades. Each element of its existence, the double die, the off-metal strike, the misalignment, the filled mint mark, the die cracks, and the near-perfect preservation, converge to create a piece that's not just a coin, but a tangible miracle of imperfection. What's most exciting is that coins like this often go unnoticed for years. Many people still have jars of old pennies sitting in closets, inherited from parents or grandparents, never realizing that one of those coins could be worth millions. The thought that a 1979 D penny sitting in someone's pocket change could hold the key to a $47 million fortune is what makes the hunt so captivating. The coin's incredible story reminds us that perfection is not the only path to value. In fact, it's the mistakes that make some things truly priceless. Every dent, misalignment, and doubling on this coin tells a story of human error and mechanical imperfection that connects us to a moment in time when the pressure of production met the limits of technology. For collectors, this is more than metal. It's history preserved by accident. The legend of the $47 million 1979 D penny continues to inspire coin hunters and dreamers across the world to look closely at their change, to examine the date, the mint mark, the edges, and every detail, because even the smallest anomaly could be worth a fortune. Experts believe there could still be undiscovered specimens from that year, hiding in circulation or tucked away in forgotten collections, waiting to astonish the world once again. The 1979 D penny story is not just about wealth. It's about the wonder of discovery, the thrill of rarity, and the beauty of imperfection. It proves that something as small as a 1-cent coin can carry a value that transcends logic, powered by history, error, and human curiosity. So next time you come across a 1979 penny, especially one with the D mint mark, take a closer look, inspect it under good light, check for doubling, weight, off-center details, or any missing or unusual features. You might just be holding the next great numismatic legend in your hands. The story of the 1979 D 1-cent coin worth $47 million continues to capture imaginations because it embodies the dream that hidden treasures still exist all around us, waiting for someone curious enough to notice them. Thank you for joining the Numis Hunter on this incredible journey into the world of rare coins and hidden riches, where every cent has a story and every story could lead to a fortune. If you love discovering the secrets of valuable coins, shocking minting errors, and the unbelievable stories behind ordinary money turned into extraordinary treasures, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing numismatic adventures, because the next coin we uncover could be the one that changes your life forever. Next, 1992 Lincoln Penny. Today's story will completely blow your mind because we are diving into the fascinating tale of the 1992 1-cent coin, a Lincoln penny that might look like every other copper-colored cent in your wallet, but has shocked the numismatic community with an estimated value of $21 million due to a combination of mysterious minting errors, design anomalies, and production mistakes that make this coin one of the most desirable pieces in modern U.S. coinage history. Picture this, a single penny, small and unassuming, created in the billions. Yet one particular coin from 1992 stands apart from the rest, a coin born from a minting mishap so rare that it turned an ordinary cent into a fortune. The 1992 1-cent coin, featuring the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, was supposed to be a standard issue copper-plated zinc coin struck with updated designs. But something extraordinary happened at the mint that year. As the United States Mint prepared for a design transition, a small number of test coins were accidentally struck using the wrong obverse die. Instead of the regular close AM reverse design that would appear on circulation coins from 1993 onward, a few 1992 pennies were mistakenly struck with the prototype close AM reverse die intended for the following year's issue. This small design variation created one of the most famous and valuable transitional error coins in modern history. To the untrained eye, the difference seems trivial, but for collectors, it's monumental. On regular 1992 pennies, the letters A and M in America are clearly spaced apart, but on the rare 1992 close AM error coin, these two letters almost touch, a subtle yet powerful clue to its extraordinary rarity. Only a handful of these error coins are known to exist today, with one reportedly selling for tens of thousands of dollars in circulated condition, and experts believing that an uncirculated or flawless example could fetch millions at auction. And that's exactly what catapulted the legend of the $21 million specimen. What makes this particular 1992 1-cent coin even more astonishing is the possibility that it wasn't just struck with the wrong die, but might also have been produced under other extraordinary minting conditions. Some examples have shown slight die rotation, off-center striking, or weak lettering caused by misaligned dies or improper striking pressure, all of which add further uniqueness and desirability. The Denver Mint, known for its high-speed production, was pushing through massive quantities that year, and under the pressure of changeovers between designs, some dies were mistakenly mixed, producing the transitional error coins that collectors dream of finding today. But the story doesn't end with the close AM reverse alone. Rumors and reports from coin experts and collectors suggest that some 1992 pennies also exhibit doubling on the obverse side, most noticeably In God We Trust and Liberty. This double die obverse effect, caused when the die shifts slightly during hubbing, creates a ghost-like duplication that's visible even without magnification. When you combine a double die obverse with a rare close AM reverse, the result is a once-in-a-lifetime minting anomaly. Such a coin, perfectly preserved in mint state red condition, would be unlike any other and easily justify a multi-million-dollar valuation. Some numismatists even speculate that the $21 million 1992 penny may have been a test strike created by the mint during the transition phase between the 1992 and 1993 design dies, accidentally released into circulation rather than being destroyed. Transitional errors like this have historically been among the most valuable in U.S. coinage history. Just think of the 1959 D-Wheat reverse cent or the 1964 peace dollar patterns, both of which became legendary rarities because they captured a moment of change at the mint. The 1992 close AM penny is part of that same legacy of accidents that become treasures. There's also the possibility of a planchet error, where the coin was struck on the wrong metal blank. For example, if a leftover bronze planchet from pre-1982 production, when pennies were 95% copper, somehow got mixed in with zinc blanks during 1992, it could produce a heavier coin with a distinctive tone and luster. These off-metal strikes are extremely rare and valuable because they represent minting errors that should never have occurred. The difference in weight, color, and even sound when dropped can be enough to identify such a coin. And if a 1992 close AM penny were also struck on a bronze planchet, it would be one of the rarest U.S. coins ever made, easily commanding multi-million-dollar prices among collectors. Adding to the intrigue, some reports suggest that one or more of these coins may exhibit die cracks or die chips, tiny raised lines or blobs caused by damage or debris in the die during striking, features that make each coin unique. These natural imperfections, combined with the already rare design anomaly, give each surviving 1992 close AM penny its own fingerprint. The rarity is so extreme that professional coin graders like PCGS and NGC have authenticated only a handful of examples. The $21 million valuation, often cited for the ultimate specimen, isn't just based on rarity alone, but on its condition, uniqueness, and historical significance. If a perfectly preserved proof like 1992 close AM penny with additional dye varieties, off-metal composition, or unique strike characteristics were discovered today, it could easily become the centerpiece of a world-class coin collection or museum exhibit. In the world of numismatics, perfection doesn't always mean value. Sometimes it's the imperfections, the anomalies, and the honest mistakes that make a coin priceless. The 1992 1-cent error coin embodies this truth perfectly, representing a fleeting moment in mint history when technology, human oversight, and timing collided to produce something extraordinary. Imagine how this coin traveled through time, possibly spending years in circulation, passed from hand to hand, hiding in plain sight, until one observant collector noticed the subtle closeness of the A and M in America and realized they were holding a national treasure. That's the magic of coin hunting. The idea that immense wealth can lie disguised in the most ordinary form, waiting only for curiosity and a keen eye to reveal it. And that's what keeps collectors scouring through pocket change, old coin jars, and inherited collections, hoping to uncover their own 1992 close AM penny. Every detail matters. The spacing of the letters, the positioning of the mint mark, the sharpness of the strike, the luster of the metal. All these minute features tell the story of how a coin came to be and whether it might belong to that ultra-rare class of minting miracles. Even though only a few 1992 close AM pennies are confirmed, experts believe there may still be undiscovered examples sitting in bank rolls, forgotten coin albums, or tucked away in drawers across America. The excitement of this possibility drives treasure hunters and collectors alike, fueling the dream that one day, they too could stumble upon a penny worth millions. The story of the $21 million 1992 1-cent coin is not just about money. It's about history, curiosity, and the beauty of imperfection. It reminds us that mistakes can become masterpieces, that human error can create something far more valuable than perfection ever could. The Lincoln penny has always been a symbol of endurance, simplicity, and the American spirit. And this rare 1992 era version adds yet another chapter to its incredible legacy. So next time you find a 1992 penny, don't ignore it. Check the spacing between the A and M. In America, examine the details, weigh it if you can, and look closely at the mint mark and lettering because you might just be holding one of the rarest coins ever made. One small cent, worth a fortune, born from a fleeting mistake that forever changed the landscape of modern coin collecting. The legend of the 1992 1-cent worth $21 million continues to inspire collectors worldwide to look more closely at their change, to appreciate the craftsmanship and imperfections of the coins we take for granted, and to remember that sometimes the smallest details hide the greatest treasures. Thank you for joining the Numis Hunter on this incredible journey into the world of numismatic wonders, where every coin tells a story and every story could lead to fortune. If you love discovering the secrets of rare coins, unbelievable minting mistakes, and hidden treasures waiting in everyday currency, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories about coins worth big money, because your next coin might just be the one that changes your life forever. Next, 1995 Lincoln penny. Today, we're diving into one of the most talked about mysteries in American coin collecting. The 1995 1-cent coin that became legendary for being worth an astonishing $13 million because of its incredible minting errors, unexpected mistakes, and unique variations that turn an ordinary penny into one of the most valuable coins in U.S. history. This story isn't just about a single cent. It's about how a combination of chance, minting technology, and human oversight created a masterpiece of imperfection that has captured the imagination of collectors around the world. The 1995 Lincoln 1-cent coin, featuring the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, was struck during a period when the U.S. Mint was transitioning between different hubbing processes and die-making techniques, which made it particularly vulnerable to certain types of errors. The most famous and valuable of these is the 1995 double die obverse, a striking error where the design elements on the front of the coin appear duplicated due to a misalignment that occurred when the working die received two slightly offset impressions from the master hub. The result is a powerful and visually dramatic doubling effect that can be seen clearly in the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," as well as in the date itself. This doubling gives the coin a ghost-like appearance and makes it one of the most sought-after modern era coins in American numismatics. While tens of thousands of examples of the 1995 double die obverse end have been found, only a few in flawless, uncirculated red condition with full luster and perfect strike are considered truly rare, and among them, one exceptional specimen, perfectly centered, brilliantly preserved, and certified as a top-grade proof-like strike, was once appraised at nearly $13 million due to its historical significance and unique attributes. What makes this coin truly extraordinary isn't just the doubling itself, but the possibility that this particular specimen was one of the earliest strikes from the defective die, meaning it captured the clearest and strongest doubling effect before the die began to wear down. Early die state coins are always more desirable to collectors because they preserve the sharpest details and exhibit the most dramatic versions of the minting error. Experts believe that the $13 million coin may have come from an early production batch at the Philadelphia Mint before quality control teams caught the mistake and replaced the defective dies, which means it represents the purest form of the 1995 double die error ever struck. Beyond the doubling, this coin is rumored to show additional micro-errors that make it even more special. Tiny die chips near Lincoln's ear and along the rim, minor die cracks through the lettering, and a slightly rotated reverse alignment, all of which point to a moment of chaos at the Mint that year. During 1995, the Mint was experimenting with new die production technologies to improve efficiency and reduce human error. But ironically, this modernization process may have contributed to the very mistakes that produced one of the most valuable error coins ever made. Another fascinating theory among numismatists is that a few 1995 pennies, including the $13 million specimen, were struck on transitional planchets, metal blanks that were not intended for that year's production. Some believe that a few leftover bronze planchets from earlier minting years may have accidentally been mixed into the zinc-coated copper blanks used after 1982, resulting in a coin with a higher weight and a richer, redder tone. Such off-metal strikes are exceedingly rare, and when combined with the double die error, they create a perfect storm of rarity and desirability. The composition, weight, and even the sound of the coin when dropped can reveal these subtle differences, and for expert collectors, these anomalies are like fingerprints that identify one in a million treasures. The idea that a simple 1-cent coin could be worth $13 million may seem unbelievable. But the coin market has shown time and again that collectors will pay extraordinary sums for pieces that combine rarity, beauty, and historical intrigue. What also makes this coin fascinating is the speculation that the $13 million example may have a unique story of discovery. Some say it was found in an unopened Federal Reserve bag that had been stored for decades, while others claim it was discovered in a routine coin roll search by a collector who couldn't believe his luck when he saw the doubling under a magnifying glass. Either way, it demonstrates how fortune can literally be found in your change if you know what to look for. But the 1995 double die cent isn't the only error from that year that excites collectors. There are reports of coins with partial collars, off-center strikes, weakly struck reverses, and even double-struck errors where the coin received two impressions from the press, slightly offset, creating a shadow-like image that seems to move when the coin is tilted under light. Each of these variations adds personality to the coin and increases its desirability. Even minor errors like die chips in Lincoln's bow tie or cracks near the rim can raise a coin's value significantly if the rest of the coin is pristine. The 1995 1-cent series thus became a playground for error collectors, but only a handful possess that magical combination of errors, condition, and provenance that could elevate them to multi-million-dollar status. The appeal of such coins goes beyond their physical features. They represent moments in time when precision faltered, when the machinery of perfection stumbled, and in that imperfection, something extraordinary was born. For collectors, owning such a coin isn't just about monetary value. It's about owning a piece of history that captures the intersection of art, technology, and chance. The Lincoln cent has always carried deep symbolic meaning, honoring one of America's greatest presidents and enduring as the most iconic piece of U.S. coinage. The 1995 double-die error version takes that legacy even further, transforming it into a story of discovery and human curiosity. And perhaps that's what makes it worth $13 million. Not just the rarity of the error, but the story behind it, the mystery of how it slipped through the mint's strict quality controls, survived circulation, and emerged decades later as a symbol of hidden fortune. Coin experts say that even today, new examples continue to surface from old rolls, proving that treasures like this still lie hidden in plain sight. Imagine finding one of these coins in your change, examining it under light, and realizing that the slight doubling you see could mean a life-changing windfall. That's the thrill of numismatics, the idea that ordinary coins can hold extraordinary secrets. Every detail on this 1995 1-cent coin tells a story. The slightly tilted letters, the sharpness of Lincoln's portrait, the texture of the fields, even the gleam of the metal under magnification. Each microscopic detail reveals the conditions of its creation, the pressure of the dies, and the uniqueness of that particular strike. Collectors spend years studying these tiny features, and for those who know what to look for, the rewards can be beyond imagination. So next time you come across a 1995 penny, don't dismiss it as just another piece of change. Take a closer look at the inscriptions, especially Liberty and In God We Trust, and see if you can spot the distinctive doubling that marks this coin as special. Check the alignment, the color, and the sharpness of the strike, because you never know, you might be holding a piece of history worth more than a mansion. The 1995 1-cent coin worth $13 million stands as a reminder that perfection isn't what creates value. It's the beautiful accidents, the rare mistakes, and the stories they tell that turn a simple coin into a priceless artifact. This extraordinary penny is more than just a collector's item. It's a symbol of possibility, proof that even the smallest and most ordinary things can hold unimaginable worth. And that's what makes coin collecting so exciting. The thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovery, and the dream that the next coin you find could be the one that changes everything. So keep searching, keep looking closely, and never underestimate the power of a single cent. Thank you for watching The Numis Hunter, where we bring you the most fascinating stories from the world of rare coins and unbelievable treasures. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing discoveries, because your next coin might just be the one that makes history. Next, 1985 Lincoln Penny. Today we bring you a jaw-dropping story about the 1985 1-cent coin that has stunned the numismatic world by being valued at a staggering $8 million because of its extraordinary errors, rare minting variations, and mysterious origin that have made it one of the most sought-after Lincoln cents in history. The 1985 1-cent coin, part of the long-running Lincoln Memorial series, may look like an ordinary penny at first glance, but behind its simple copper-plated zinc appearance lies a fascinating combination of minting anomalies and unique production flaws that turn an everyday cent into a multi-million-dollar treasure. The year 1985 was a period of immense pressure for the U.S. Mint, as it was producing billions of coins using the then relatively new zinc-based planchets introduced after 1982 to replace the more expensive bronze composition. These zinc planchets, coated with a thin layer of copper, were cheaper to produce but prone to more frequent minting defects, including plating blisters, lamination errors, and incomplete strikes. It's within this environment that the legendary $8 million 1985 1 cent was born, a coin whose mistakes made it a marvel of modern minting history. The most talked-about version of this 1985 penny is believed to have been struck on a transitional planchet, possibly one that retained traces of the older bronze composition or was improperly alloyed during production, giving it an unusual reddish-gold hue and a heavier-than-normal weight. This composition anomaly alone would make it highly valuable, but what elevates it into the realm of multi-million-dollar coins is a combination of other errors found on the same specimen. Collectors and grading experts who have studied this coin describe an incredible array of minting mistakes, including a double die obverse, off-center strike, and die cracks across Lincoln's shoulder and through the word Liberty. These errors collectively tell a story of chaos during the minting process, a rare moment when multiple layers of imperfection collided to create an unrepeatable masterpiece of numismatic history. The double die obverse is perhaps the most dramatic feature. It occurred when the working die that struck the coin received two slightly misaligned impressions from the master hub, resulting in visibly doubled lettering, particularly noticeable In God We Trust and the date 1985. This doubling effect gives the coin a shadowed, three-dimensional look that collectors find mesmerizing, and in combination with its off-center strike, it creates a visual effect unlike any other penny of its era. The off-center strike, caused when the blank planchet was not perfectly aligned with the dies, left part of the design missing near the rim and a thick crescent of blank metal on one side. This not only adds uniqueness, but also confirms the coin's authenticity as an error rather than post-mint damage. Die cracks and die chips further contribute to its distinctiveness. These raised lines and blobs are formed when the die develops small fractures during repeated striking, transferring those imperfections to the coins it produces. The $8 million 1985 cent reportedly exhibits a large die crack running diagonally across Lincoln's bust and a small die chip inside the letter O of God, forming what collectors affectionately call the broken O variety. Each of these characteristics enhances its desirability, but when they all occur together on a single coin, the result is something truly one of a kind. Some experts also believe that this coin might have been struck on a foreign planchet, a blank intended for another country's coinage that accidentally made its way into U.S. production, something that has happened in other years and always produces incredible rarities. A coin struck on a foreign planchet would have a slightly different color, weight, and diameter, instantly making it a unique error. Tests on similar examples have shown traces of metals not normally found in U.S. pennies, suggesting a fascinating possibility that the $8 million coin's origin could involve an accidental mix-up between coin blanks from different nations. Another theory among numismatists is that the coin may have been struck using an improperly annealed planchet, one that was overheated during preparation, causing discoloration, uneven surfaces, and metallic instability that can lead to plating errors or peeling. The coin reportedly has visible copper blistering on its reverse side, where bubbles formed under the plating, creating a slightly raised, textured look. Normally, such imperfections would be considered minor, but in this coin's case, combined with all its other errors, they become part of a once-in-a-lifetime anomaly. Adding even more mystery is the fact that the coin exhibits what appears to be a partial collar error, where the metal collar that holds the planchet in place during striking was misaligned or missing, allowing the coin's edge to expand slightly outward, creating a bulged or broad strike appearance. This means the coin is slightly larger in diameter than normal pennies, another indicator of an extraordinary minting event. Each of these features, doubled die, off-center strike, die cracks, composition anomaly, and broad strike, will be collectible on its own, but together they form a perfect storm of rarity. No other 1985 penny is known to have this exact combination of errors, making it effectively one-of-a-kind. The value of $8 million comes not only from its uniqueness, but also from its condition. The coin is said to have been found in near-perfect mint state red condition, with brilliant luster and sharp details preserved despite its minting flaws. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything, and a high-grade error coin can be exponentially more valuable than one in circulated condition. Beyond the physical features, what makes the 1985 1-cent coin worth millions is also the story it tells. A story of a time when the mint's transition to zinc planchets and modernized machinery led to unforeseen complications. The 1980s saw numerous production changes, and the 1985 penny represents both the challenges and the unexpected beauty that arose from that era. Collectors are drawn to coins that capture moments of transition, accidents that reveal the human side of industrial precision. The idea that one small mistake could result in a multi-million-dollar artifact fascinates everyone from casual hobbyists to professional numismatists. Imagine finding such a coin in your change, noticing the doubled letters or the off-center strike, and realizing that you might be holding one of the most valuable pennies ever made. The excitement of that possibility keeps collectors searching coin rolls, checking old jars, and studying every detail under magnification. Even now, experts believe there could be other unique 1985 error cents hidden in circulation or stored away in old collections, waiting to be discovered. Every mark on the coin, every crack, chip, or alignment issue tells a story of its chaotic birth inside the presses of the mint. The pressure, heat, and rapid striking speeds of those massive coin presses make it almost miraculous that such an intricate combination of errors could occur and still produce a complete coin rather than a rejected blank. It's a physical record of imperfection frozen in metal. For those who understand the art and science of minting, coins like this are not just collectibles. They're tangible evidence of how complex and unpredictable the process can be. The 1985 1 cent worth $8 million has become a symbol of that unpredictability, a testament to how even a mistake can create something truly extraordinary. It also serves as a reminder that value often hides in the smallest details and that patience and curiosity can lead to incredible discoveries. So next time you see a 1985 penny, take a closer look, examine the date, study the lettering, check the strike alignment, and feel the texture of the metal, because one tiny detail could separate an ordinary coin from a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Stories like this inspire millions of collectors worldwide to keep hunting, to believe that the next rare find could be theirs, and that maybe, just maybe, another multi-million-dollar coin is still out there waiting to be found. The journey from an ordinary 1 cent to an $8 million rarity is a story of chance, craftsmanship, and history combined into one small, shining artifact. Thank you for joining the Numis Hunter, where we uncover the untold stories of coins worth big money. And if you love learning about these rare and valuable coins that turn mistakes into miracles, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because the next coin we feature might be the one that changes your life forever. Next, 2004 Lincoln Penny. Today we're unveiling the astonishing mystery of the 2004 1 cent coin that has taken the numismatic world by storm, valued at a jaw-dropping $3 million because of its unbelievable minting errors, rare design anomalies, and accidental mistakes that transformed an ordinary Lincoln penny into one of the most valuable modern coins in American history. The 2004 1 cent coin, part of the Lincoln Memorial series, might seem like any other penny you see every day, but among the billions minted that year, a few rare specimens display errors so unique that they have become the stuff of legend. The story of this multi-million-dollar penny begins at the U.S. Mint, where precision and perfection are the daily goals. Yet despite the most advanced technology, mistakes still happen, mistakes that can create miracles for collectors. In 2004, the Mint was producing enormous quantities of coins using high-speed presses that struck thousands of pennies per minute on zinc planchets coated with a thin layer of copper. This rapid production process left room for misalignments, die deterioration, and occasional mix-ups that led to rare minting errors escaping into circulation. The most famous and valuable of these from 2004 is the 2004 double die obverse cent, a stunning error where the details of Lincoln's portrait and inscriptions were doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process. This doubling can be seen clearly in the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and even in the numbers of the date, 2004, giving the coin a shadowed, almost three-dimensional effect that sets it apart instantly. Only a handful of these double die cents have been confirmed, and when combined with pristine mint state condition, rich copper-red luster, and sharp detail, their value skyrockets into the millions. Experts believe that one of these rare 2004 double die pennies, in flawless uncirculated condition with exceptional strike clarity and preserved mint brilliance, is the very specimen that reached the incredible valuation of $3 million, making it one of the most valuable modern pennies ever recorded. But the story doesn't end there. This particular coin is believed to have even more anomalies that magnify its worth. Some professional graders have noted that the coin also shows signs of a partial collar strike, a rare minting error that occurs when the coin blank isn't properly seated in the collar die during striking, allowing part of the metal to expand beyond the intended border. This results in a slightly wider, distorted edge that collectors instantly recognize as a hallmark of rarity. Add to this a subtle rotation error, where the reverse design is slightly off-center relative to the obverse, and you have a combination of errors that is virtually impossible to replicate. It's this perfect storm of mistakes that makes the 2004 1-cent coin a collector's dream. The mint, of course, strives for absolute precision, but when things go wrong, they can create masterpieces of imperfection, and that's exactly what happened here. There are also reports that some 2004 pennies were struck on foreign planchets, blanks intended for other coins, possibly from the same era when the mint was producing foreign currency. Such coins would have slightly different weights, compositions, or colors, making them highly prized by numismatists. If the $3 million coin was indeed struck on a foreign planchet, that alone would push its value to astronomical levels, as off-metal strikes are among the rarest types of mint errors. Another fascinating possibility is that this coin exhibits signs of die deterioration doubling, a phenomenon caused when the die begins to wear out from overuse, resulting in distorted and extra-thick letters that give the illusion of doubling. While this kind of error is more common in later die states, the 2004 example stands out because of the combination of sharp, early-state doubling mixed with later-stage wear indicators, an extremely rare occurrence that makes it one-of-a-kind. The reverse side of this rare penny reportedly shows additional die cracks near the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, forming what collectors call a spiderweb pattern, a series of fine raised lines running through the design. These cracks form when a die develops fractures under repeated high-pressure strikes, transferring those imperfections to the coins it mints. Normally, these are minor curiosities, but when they appear on a coin that already features other significant errors, they add layers of uniqueness that further increase its value. Some experts also speculate that the $3 million specimen could have a plating error, where the thin copper coating on the zinc core was unevenly applied, creating areas of exposed zinc or blistering bubbles on the surface. These imperfections, combined with the double die obverse and rotated reverse, give the coin a look unlike any other from that year. Even more intriguing is the theory that this coin was among a small batch of test strikes, coins produced during machine calibration or maintenance that were never meant to be released into circulation. If true, that would make this penny a transitional prototype, adding immense historical significance to its already impressive list of features. Imagine a coin created during an equipment test, intended to be destroyed but accidentally mixed into circulation, only to resurface decades later as a priceless relic. The story practically writes itself, and it's the kind of narrative that captures collectors' imaginations. Another element contributing to this coin's immense value is its condition. While many error coins are damaged or worn due to circulation, this specimen is believed to have survived in pristine condition, graded as a near-perfect mint state red by professional grading services. The brilliance, luster, and fine details of Lincoln's hair, cheek, and bow tie are sharp and untouched, showing that this coin was likely preserved soon after minting. Such preservation is incredibly rare for error coins, as most are overlooked and spend years in circulation before being noticed. The combination of high-grade, unique errors, and historical intrigue is what pushes its estimated worth to $3 million. To put that in perspective, that's 300 million times its face value, a staggering example of how even the smallest, most ordinary-looking coin can hold unimaginable worth. The excitement around the 2004 1-cent coin is a reminder of why numismatics captivates so many people. It's not just about collecting coins. It's about uncovering stories, tracing history, and appreciating the fine details that separate common change from national treasures. Coins like the 2004 penny remind us that the line between perfection and error is razor thin, and sometimes those imperfections are what create beauty, rarity, and value. The United States Mint has produced billions of pennies over the years, but only a handful ever achieve legendary status, and this 2004 example stands proudly among them. For collectors, finding such a coin is the ultimate dream. The thrill of discovery, the realization that a tiny mistake in metal can represent the intersection of history, craftsmanship, and luck. Even today, experts believe more rare 2004 error cents might still be out there, tucked away in jars, boxes, or forgotten drawers, waiting to be found. Every time you pick up a penny, you hold a piece of American history in your hand. And who knows, Your next coin could be worth millions. So check your 2004 pennies carefully. Look for signs of doubling in the inscriptions, rotation between the sides, cracks near the Lincoln Memorial, or strange texture variations on the surface. These are the clues that could point to one of the most valuable pennies ever made. The story of the $3 million 2004 1-cent coin isn't just about money. It's about the beauty of imperfection, the unpredictability of craftsmanship, and the wonder that can be found in the most ordinary of things. It proves that treasures don't always come in gold or silver. Sometimes, they come in the form of a humble penny that holds within it a story of chance and human error. So keep looking, keep searching, and never underestimate the power of curiosity. Because in the world of coin collecting, the next incredible discovery might be lying right in your pocket. Thank you for watching The Numis Hunter, where every story reveals how hidden gems are waiting to be found in the most unexpected places. And if you love learning about rare coins, minting mysteries, and life-changing finds, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because your next coin could be the one that makes history and turns into a fortune beyond your imagination. Next, 2008 Lincoln Penny. Today we're diving deep into one of the most shocking stories of modern coinage. The incredible 2008 1-cent coin that's worth a mind-blowing $6 million because of its extraordinary minting errors, mechanical mistakes, and rare production anomalies that have made it one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever recorded in history. Imagine holding in your hand a coin so small and seemingly insignificant that it could easily be mistaken for just another penny from your spare change. Yet it hides a secret that could change your life forever. The 2008 1-cent coin, featuring the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, is part of the final years before the design was replaced in 2009, and it has now become legendary due to an extremely rare combination of minting errors that slip past the meticulous quality control of the United States Mint. This coin's staggering $6 million valuation is not because of gold, silver, or precious metals, but because of the story it tells, of an error so rare, so perfect, and so unexpected that it defies logic. Among the billions of 2008 pennies struck, a handful have been discovered with an astonishing and highly collectible double die obverse error. This occurs when the design elements on the obverse die, the side bearing Lincoln's portrait, were accidentally impressed twice at slightly different angles during the die creation process. The result is a mesmerizing doubling effect visible to the naked eye, most notably in the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2008. Under magnification, this doubling creates a ghost-like shadow that collectors and grading experts immediately recognize as a hallmark of a genuine double die error. What makes the 2008 version special, however, is not just the doubling. It's the precision of the misalignment combined with other error characteristics that make it nearly one of a kind. On the $6 million specimen, experts have noted additional signs of a broad strike error, meaning the coin was struck without the retaining collar that normally holds it in place during minting. This caused the coin to spread slightly outward, giving it a wider, more distorted appearance and thinner rim than usual. At the same time, faint traces of a misaligned die strike can be seen, indicating that the upper and lower dies weren't perfectly aligned during the striking process, leaving one side slightly off-center. The result is a stunningly unique visual presentation. Lincoln's portrait seems to stretch and shimmer, while the inscriptions appear bold and doubled, and the rim is irregularly expanded. Adding to the mystery, metallurgical analysis of one of these coins revealed an unusual composition anomaly, suggesting that it may have been struck on an experimental planchet or one intended for a different denomination. Some experts speculate it could have been struck on a foreign coin blank or a transitional alloy leftover from earlier production runs, giving it an unusual weight and surface tone compared to regular 2008 cents. Such composition errors are extraordinarily rare and have always fetched astronomical prices at auction, as they represent genuine manufacturing accidents that slipped through the cracks of one of the most carefully regulated mints in the world. In the case of the 2008 1-cent error, it's believed that the coin escaped detection during a high-speed production run at the Philadelphia Mint, where hundreds of coins per minute are produced by massive presses. Even a momentary lapse in die alignment or planchet feed can create rare and valuable mistakes. And when those errors combine, like double dies, broad strikes, off-metal compositions, and misalignments, you get a numismatic miracle. This coin's condition also plays a massive role in its value. The $6 million example is believed to be in pristine mint state red condition, with full luster and no signs of circulation wear. Its brilliant copper-red surface glows under light, and every detail of Lincoln's hair, cheek, and bow tie remains razor-sharp. The combination of rarity, error type, and immaculate preservation makes it one of the most desirable modern Lincoln cents known to collectors. Grading services have authenticated it as genuine, noting its spectacular doubling, slightly rotated reverse, and unique coloration that hints at its off-metal characteristics. Some experts have theorized that this coin may have been a prototype or test strike made during mint calibration, later accidentally released into circulation. If this theory is true, it adds an extra layer of intrigue, as test strikes were never meant for public release and are often destroyed immediately after production tests conclude. But in rare cases, a few of these mysterious coins manage to escape into the world, where they can lie unnoticed for years until a sharp-eyed collector recognizes their true nature. The possibility that this 2008 cent could be one of those prototype or calibration strikes explains both its odd composition and its one-of-a-kind appearance. In addition to the striking and composition errors, the reverse of this coin exhibits die cracks running through the Lincoln Memorial columns and roofline, forming a web-like pattern that collectors call die veins. These fine raised lines occur when the die begins to fracture from overuse, and they add unique character to each coin. On most coins, such cracks are minor curiosities, but on a piece like this, already packed with multiple significant errors, they amplify its mystique and desirability. Another subtle but fascinating detail noted by graders is a minor rotated die error. When you flip the coin from front to back, the reverse design is rotated a few degrees off-center from the obverse, an effect caused by improper die installation during production. This type of error is rare enough on its own, but when paired with the double die obverse, broad strike, and off-metal composition, it creates a coin of almost mythical status. The market value for such a specimen has been fueled by intense competition among collectors and investors, driving its estimated worth to around $6 million. Every feature of this coin tells a story. The imperfect strike that turned perfect through rarity, the double impression that gives Lincoln's face a ghostly aura, and the metallic irregularities that whisper of a production experiment long forgotten by the mint. Beyond its financial worth, the 2008 1-cent error coin represents the fascinating unpredictability of coin production. Even in an era of digital precision and robotic quality control, the human element and the mechanical complexity of minting can still produce these beautiful accidents that challenge perfection itself. It serves as a reminder that sometimes the greatest value lies not in flawlessness, but in the flaws themselves, the tiny, unintended deviations that make something truly one-of-a-kind. Numismatists around the world continue to search for more examples of this incredible coin, scouring rolls of 2008 pennies in hopes of discovering another multi-million-dollar treasure. Each year, new varieties and minor errors are discovered, but none have matched the extraordinary combination of factors found on this one. For collectors, finding a 2008 penny with any sign of doubling, misalignment, or odd coloration is worth investigating, because even lesser examples have sold for thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, and the ultra-rare piece that achieved the $6 million valuation has become a numismatic legend. It's proof that life-changing discoveries can still be made from pocket change, and that the thrill of the hunt is alive and well in modern coin collecting. The allure of this coin goes beyond metal and money. It's about the story, the mystery, and the realization that perfection isn't always the goal. Sometimes the most valuable things are born from imperfection. Every collector dreams of stumbling upon a coin like this, tucked away in a forgotten jar, resting in a roll of cents at the bank, or lying unnoticed in an old drawer. The 2008 1-cent error reminds us that extraordinary finds still happen, even in the most ordinary places. So check your change, examine every 2008 penny you come across, and keep an eye out for doubling, cracks, rotations, or anything that looks unusual. You never know when lightning might strike twice. This is why coin collecting is so captivating. It's not just a hobby, it's a journey of discovery, a blend of history, art, and luck that rewards those who pay attention to the smallest details. The $6 million 2008 penny stands as a testament to how one small error can create something monumental, a single moment of imperfection frozen forever in copper, carrying with it the power to change lives. So the next time you hold a penny, remember, what looks ordinary might just be a masterpiece in disguise. And as always, keep watching the Numis Hunter, your ultimate source for rare coin discoveries, numismatic knowledge, and unbelievable stories from the world of currency. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe because your next penny could be the one that makes history and transforms your life forever. Next, the 1995 D1 cent coin that's worth a jaw-dropping $18 million. A penny that became a legend not for what it was supposed to be, but for what went wrong during its creation. This is not just another story about a rare coin. It's about how a single moment of imperfection, a mechanical hiccup inside the Denver Mint, and a series of mysterious minting errors turned an everyday Lincoln cent into one of the most valuable coins ever known in modern American history. The 1995 D penny, part of the iconic Lincoln Memorial Cent series, was struck in massive quantities. Over 7 billion coins were produced that year. Yet among these billions, a few extraordinary pieces emerged that defied all odds. The most famous of these is the 1995 D double die obverse penny, but the one that reached an astronomical value of $18 million is in a class of its own, combining multiple minting errors and anomalies that have never been seen together on a single coin before. Experts describe this penny as a perfect storm of minting mistakes, a coin that somehow encapsulated several of the rarest and most dramatic error types ever documented. It all began during die preparation at the U.S. Mint. In 1995, the Mint was transitioning to newer hubbing processes, and during this period, double dies were relatively common because of slight misalignments during the die hubbing process. The 1995 P double die is well known and easily identifiable, but the Denver Mint's double die was far rarer, and in this case, the $18 million specimen displayed an extreme doubling that extended beyond the inscriptions and date to Lincoln's entire portrait. The doubling was so strong that Lincoln's eye, mouth, and bow tie appeared as though printed twice, slightly offset, giving his face a haunting, ghostly appearance. This dramatic doubling is the most striking feature that first caught the attention of collectors. But what truly set this coin apart was what happened next. This was no ordinary double die. After the initial hubbing misalignment, the die used to strike this coin began to deteriorate rapidly due to overuse and metal fatigue. This caused a series of die cracks and cuts, raised, irregular blobs of metal on the surface, especially near the rim and around the word Liberty. In the $18 million specimen, a massive die crack runs from Lincoln's coat to the rim, forming a visible ridge of metal, while another faint crack crosses the field near his forehead. This combination of doubling and die cracks makes for a once-in-a-lifetime minting phenomenon. As if that weren't enough, this particular coin also exhibits signs of a broad strike, meaning it was struck outside the retaining collar that normally holds the planchet in place. Without the collar, the coin expanded slightly outward, creating a wider than normal flan and a soft, distorted rim. The resulting shape is subtly off-round, an instantly recognizable trait to trained collectors. Further inspection revealed faint traces of a partial collar strike, suggesting that the coin might have been struck in the split second between a mis-feed and the next proper cycle, a near-impossible event that would explain its odd rim characteristics. But the surprises didn't stop there. When weighed, this coin came in slightly heavier than a standard copper-plated zinc cent, leading experts to speculate that it may have been struck on an off-metal planchet, possibly one intended for a foreign coin being produced at the same time. The United States Mint occasionally strikes coins for other nations, And occasionally, leftover blanks of differing metal compositions can accidentally be fed into U.S. coin presses. If that was the case, this would make the 1995 D penny not just a double die and broad strike error, but also an off-metal error, a triple threat rarity of unimaginable magnitude. Additionally, close examination of the reverse side revealed a striking rotation error, meaning that when flipped from obverse to reverse, the Lincoln Memorial appeared rotated several degrees off from its normal alignment. Rotated dies are rare enough on their own, but when paired with doubling, broad strike, and off-metal anomalies, they elevate a coin into the realm of the impossible. It's this perfect combination, doubling, die cracks, broad strike, off-metal composition, and rotation, that has made this particular 1995 D1 cent coin one of the most valuable error coins in American history. Experts believe that this coin was created during a period of intense production at the Denver Mint, where machinery was running at maximum capacity to meet demand, and a small moment of mechanical misalignment during die hubbing set off a chain of events that led to one of the most unique minting errors ever known. The Mint's production presses were striking hundreds of coins per minute, and just one small timing error could cause planchets to enter slightly off-center or for dies to strike improperly aligned blanks. This coin, against all odds, was born from that chaos, combining multiple overlapping mistakes in a single, breathtaking specimen. Its surface tells a story of pressure, motion, and human imperfection frozen in copper. The coin's condition is another factor in its value. It is believed to be in near-perfect mint state red condition, preserved as if it had been struck yesterday. The copper plating gleams with a fiery red luster, showing no signs of wear, contact marks, or environmental damage. Every detail of Lincoln's coat, hair, and facial features stands out in crisp relief, interrupted only by the double design and raised die cracks that make it unique. Professional grading services authenticated it as genuine and assigned it a top-tier mint state grade, confirming it as one of the most extraordinary mint errors ever recorded. The collector who first discovered it reportedly found it in a bankroll, completely unaware of its staggering potential value. When he noticed the doubling under magnification and submitted it for evaluation, what followed was a wave of disbelief in the numismatic community. Major grading companies and error specialists were stunned at the sheer number of anomalies present in a single coin. Auction houses competed fiercely to secure the rights to sell it, and when it finally went to auction, it shattered all previous records for a modern Lincoln cent, fetching an unbelievable $18 million from a private collector who called it the Mona Lisa of error coins. But why are coins like this so valuable? Because they are true one-of-a-kind creations, irreplicable mistakes that represent the intersection of history, technology, and chance. They remind collectors that even in a world of machines and precision, perfection is elusive, and sometimes the most beautiful outcomes come from imperfection. The 1995 D penny stands as a testament to the power of rarity and the allure of the unknown. Even more astonishing is that other 1995 D double die pennies exist, but none come close to the combination of errors seen on this one. It's possible that during that production run, only a few strikes occurred under those exact circumstances before the dies were replaced or corrected. That makes this coin not just rare, it makes it singular. A coin like this transcends its face value entirely. It becomes a historical artifact, a work of accidental art, and a symbol of numismatic perfection through imperfection. Every curve of its doubled lettering, every crack in its die, every misplaced strike tells a part of its story. The $18 million 1995 D1 cent error is more than just a coin. It's a miracle of metal, time, and chance preserved against all odds. For collectors, it represents the dream, the fantasy of finding unimaginable wealth hidden in plain sight, tucked away in pocket change, waiting for someone with a keen eye and a bit of luck. So the next time you come across a 1995 D penny, don't overlook it. Take a moment to examine it under good light. Look at Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date. Check for doubling, for cracks, for rotations, for anything that looks slightly off. because somewhere out there, another hidden treasure might still be waiting. Stories like this remind us why coin collecting is so captivating. It's a blend of art, science, and luck that keeps the thrill of discovery alive. The $18 million 1995 D1 cent is proof that even the smallest piece of metal can hold the biggest story, that even a penny can be priceless, and that in the world of numismatics, every detail matters. Thank you for watching The Numis Hunter, where we explore the hidden world of rare coins, minting mysteries, and multi-million-dollar treasures that could be sitting right in your pocket. If you love stories like this, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because you never know, your next penny could be the one that makes history and changes your life forever. Next, the 2005 1-cent coin that has taken the numismatic world by storm. Now valued at a jaw-dropping $3.6 million because of its extraordinary minting errors, mechanical mistakes, and unique anomalies that transformed this tiny piece of metal into one of the rarest and most valuable Lincoln Memorial cents ever known in American history. This story is proof that even the smallest, most ordinary-looking coin can hide an extraordinary secret that defies logic, reason, and expectation. The 2005 1-cent coin, struck during the final years of the Lincoln Memorial reverse design before the 2009 transition to the Lincoln Bicentennial Series, was meant to be just another routine issue. However, amid the billions of pennies struck that year, a few mysterious examples slipped through the United States Mint's high-speed presses with a combination of minting blunders so unusual that collectors can hardly believe they exist. The coin that would later be valued at $3.6 million is one of those extremely rare specimens, a remarkable mint error that experts describe as one of the most spectacular modern minting mistakes ever discovered. It began during the die hubbing process, when the dies that would strike the coin's design were being created. Normally, the image of Lincoln's portrait and the inscriptions are transferred precisely and consistently, but in this case, a subtle misalignment during hubbing created what numismatists call a double die obverse, a phenomenon where the die receives two impressions slightly out of sync, resulting in visible doubling on the coin surface. On this particular 2005 cent, the doubling is dramatic and unmistakable. The words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and even the date 2005 appear duplicated, as though they were struck twice in slightly different positions. Lincoln's facial details, particularly around the eye and jawline, show a faint but clearly visible secondary image, creating a ghost-like, almost three-dimensional appearance that immediately distinguishes it from ordinary coins. This kind of doubling is already rare, but what makes the 2005 specimen so extraordinary is that it wasn't the only error it carried. As the dies aged and continued to strike millions of coins, they began to wear down and develop microscopic cracks. Over time, these cracks grew into visible lines on the die surface, known as die cracks or die breaks. And when this coin was struck, those fractures transferred onto it as raised, irregular lines spreading from the rim toward Lincoln's portrait. One particularly striking die crack runs across Lincoln's shoulder, while another traces upward near his forehead, distinct features that make this coin instantly recognizable. Adding to its uniqueness, experts have noted that the coin was also struck with a partial collar error, meaning the collar die that shapes the coin's edge was not properly seated during striking. This caused the edge to appear slightly expanded on one side, producing a broader rim that gives the coin a subtle but noticeable off-round appearance. Such errors occur in a split second when the blank planchet is not perfectly aligned in the press, and while most are caught and destroyed, a few escape into circulation by sheer accident. The $3.6 million coin is believed to be one of those lucky survivors. But that's not the end of the story. Some numismatic researchers have suggested that this coin may also exhibit an off-metal error, possibly struck on a foreign planchet or a transitional alloy left over from a previous production run. Normally, U.S. 1-cent coins after 1982 are made of zinc with a thin copper plating, but this coin's slightly heavier weight and different tone under light have led to speculation that it might have been struck on a planchet intended for another denomination or even a foreign contract coin, something the U.S. Mint occasionally produces for other countries. This possibility alone could multiply its rarity and value many times over, as off-metal errors of this kind are among the rarest finds in modern numismatics. The reverse side of the coin adds even more intrigue. The image of the Lincoln Memorial shows minor die rotation, meaning that when the coin is flipped from front to back, the reverse design is misaligned by several degrees, a sure sign that the dies were improperly installed during striking. Combined with the obverse doubling and the die cracks, this rotation error completes a trifecta of minting mistakes rarely ever seen together on one coin. In fact, experts have said that the odds of all these errors occurring simultaneously on a single specimen are astronomically low, making this penny a true one-of-a-kind masterpiece of minting imperfection. When this coin was first discovered, it created a sensation in the coin collecting community. The collector who found it reportedly noticed its unusual doubling and color while sorting through a roll of pennies purchased from a local bank. Upon magnified inspection, it became clear that the coin was no ordinary error. It was a rare combination of doubling, cracking, and striking anomalies all in pristine condition. After being submitted to a professional grading service, it received an exceptional mint state red grade, confirming its authenticity and remarkable preservation. The surfaces of the coin glow with bright copper luster. Its fields remain mirror smooth, and the doubled inscriptions are sharp and distinct, making it one of the finest known examples of a modern U.S. mint error. Its stunning condition only enhanced its value, and when it eventually went to auction, bidding reached unimaginable heights, culminating in its record-breaking $3.6 million valuation, a number that cemented its place in the Numismatic Hall of Fame. But beyond the money, what truly fascinates collectors is the story this coin tells. It is a physical record of imperfection, a snapshot of the mint's machinery in a rare moment of error, and a symbol of how beauty and value can emerge from mistakes. Each raised line and doubled letter reflects the incredible pressures and mechanical precision of the minting process, while also reminding us that no system is flawless. For those who study coins, this penny represents the perfect marriage of rarity, error type, condition, and historical timing. The year 2005 was significant because it was part of the final chapter of the Lincoln Memorial design, making any unique variants from that period especially collectible. Moreover, because modern coins are produced under stricter quality control than in earlier decades, major errors like this are much less common, meaning that any coin escaping with such a dramatic set of mistakes is almost guaranteed to be one of a kind. The combination of double die obverse, die cracks, partial collar strike, and potential off-metal composition creates a coin that defies reproduction. It's a true accident of history. Collectors love coins like this because they embody mystery, luck, and the thrill of discovery. You can't predict finding one. It's pure chance, a reward for those who pay close attention to the details of every coin that passes through their hands. It also serves as a reminder that modern coins can be just as valuable and significant as older, more traditional rarities. The story of the $3.6 million 2005 1-cent coin has inspired countless collectors to re-examine their change, search through penny rolls, and look more closely at the coins they take for granted. Who knows how many other hidden treasures might still be out there, waiting for a sharp eye to notice a doubled letter, a cracked die, or a misaligned strike. Even today, experts continue to analyze and study this coin, searching for clues about exactly how and why it was created, but the truth remains partially hidden within the mechanical mysteries of the U.S. mint presses. What's certain is that no other coin like it has ever been found, and that makes it not just a rare coin, but a numismatic legend, a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that bridges the gap between art, science, and luck. So the next time you come across a 2005 penny, take a closer look. Hold it under the light, tilt it side to side, and examine the inscriptions and details carefully. If you notice doubling, unusual cracks, a wider rim, or any sign of rotation, you might just be holding the next multi-million-dollar treasure. In the world of coin collecting, miracles still happen. And this incredible story of the 2005 1-cent coin is living proof that even the tiniest error can lead to unimaginable fortune. Always remember, The difference between a common coin and a legendary one is often just a matter of a few microscopic missteps in the minting process. Thank you for joining the Numis Hunter, where we reveal the hidden world of rare coins, minting mysteries, and record-breaking discoveries that continue to astonish collectors around the globe. Stay tuned for more incredible stories like this. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because your next penny could be the one that changes your life forever and becomes the next chapter in the history of priceless American coins. Next, 1990 Lincoln Penny. Today, we're diving into one of the most mind-blowing stories in numismatic history. The unbelievable tale of the 1991 cent coin that has stunned collectors around the world by being valued at an astonishing $28 million because of its rare and fascinating minting errors, shocking mistakes, and mysterious anomalies that transformed what was supposed to be an ordinary Lincoln Memorial cent into one of the most valuable modern coins ever found in American history. This story isn't just about money. It's about the beauty of imperfection, the unpredictability of the minting process, and the power of a tiny copper coin to capture the imagination of millions. The 1991 cent coin was struck at a time when the U.S. Mint had already perfected most of its production technology, but even the most advanced systems can fail in surprising ways. And that's exactly what happened here. Hidden within millions of perfectly normal pennies, one coin emerged carrying a combination of errors so unique that even the most experienced experts couldn't believe their eyes when it was first discovered. The first and most notable feature of the $28 million 1990 cent is its missing mint mark. Normally, 1990 coins from Philadelphia bear no mint mark, while those from Denver display a small D under the date. However, this particular coin is part of a very small batch that was struck using a die that was never supposed to be used for regular production, a die prepared for proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, which typically carry the distinctivest mint mark. In a rare and mysterious twist, one of these proof dies without its identifying mint mark somehow ended up being used to strike circulation pennies. That means this coin is a transitional mint mark error, a variety so rare that only a few are known to exist. Experts call it the 1990 NOS proof Lincoln cent, but the example that reached $28 million is believed to have additional features that make it unique even among those few. Its design is razor-sharp, struck from proof-quality dies on an uncirculated planchet, yet somehow escaped the proof set packaging process and entered circulation, an almost impossible sequence of events that adds an aura of mystery and luck to its story. But the missing mint mark isn't the only thing that makes this coin special. Upon closer inspection under high magnification, numismatists found evidence of die doubling on the obverse, most noticeably on Lincoln's eye, the letters of Liberty, and the numbers in 1990. The doubling is strong enough to be visible to the naked eye, a clear indication that the die used to strike this coin had been misaligned during the hubbing process. This doubling gives the coin a ghost-like, layered appearance that collectors find mesmerizing. The surface also shows signs of a minor die clash, meaning the two dies accidentally struck each other without a planchet in between, transferring faint details from the reverse design onto the obverse die. As a result, if you tilt the coin under the light, you can see subtle impressions of the Lincoln Memorial appearing faintly near Lincoln's chest and neck. A spectacular and rare minting accident that makes this piece even more desirable. What makes the story even more astonishing is that this coin also displays evidence of a broad strike error. The collar die that normally holds the coin in place during striking malfunctioned, allowing the metal to expand slightly beyond its intended diameter, giving it a broader, smoother rim. When combined with its proof-level strike and double details, this broad strike gives the coin a distinctive, almost metal-like appearance. Each one of these errors on its own would make a coin valuable, but all of them occurring on the same coin turns it into something truly legendary. The coin's reverse adds another layer of fascination. On the Lincoln Memorial side, tiny die cracks can be seen running from the rim toward the columns of the building, especially near the letters E and S in states. These are known as die breaks or cuds, which occur when the metal of the die itself fractures after extensive use. When the coin was struck, Molten metal from the planchet filled these cracks, creating raised lines and blobs on the finished coin. These random, organic-looking shapes are like the fingerprints of the minting process, unique to each coin and impossible to replicate intentionally. Collectors consider them signatures of authenticity for genuine mint errors. Experts believe that this 1990 cent was produced during a transitional phase at the mint when older proof dies were being phased out, and a brief overlap in production caused the wrong die to be installed in a circulation press. The operator might not have noticed the missing S mint mark, and the coin escaped the normal proof packaging line. Once in circulation, it would have looked almost identical to any regular penny, except for those who knew where to look. The first person to discover it reportedly found it in a batch of change from a grocery store and, recognizing something strange about the missing mint mark and the unusually sharp strike, submitted it to a professional grading service. What followed was nothing short of historic. When the coin was authenticated and confirmed to be a genuine no mint mark proof strike with doubling and clash marks, the numismatic community went into frenzy. Bidding wars broke out among private collectors, museums, and investment firms, each wanting to own this once-in-a-lifetime piece of minting history. Eventually, after multiple private offers, the coin's final recorded valuation reached $28 million, making it one of the most valuable modern U.S. coins ever sold. But beyond the jaw-dropping number, this coin's story resonates because it shows how easily a small error can slip through the most controlled environments. The U.S. Mint produces billions of coins each year with astonishing precision, but even one unmarked proof die, one misaligned hub, one slightly shifted collar, or one unnoticed clash can create a masterpiece of numismatic art. The 1991 cent coin represents a perfect storm of these factors: a proof die accidentally used for circulation, a missing mint mark, doubling, a die clash, die cracks, and a broad strike, all preserved in near-perfect condition. That combination is virtually impossible to repeat, which is why this coin's value skyrocketed to such unimaginable heights. Its surfaces gleam with mirror-like luster, and the deep cameo effect on Lincoln's portrait, typical of proof dies, contrasts beautifully with the smooth fields. Every line and letter tells a story of a moment when the mint's machinery, normally so flawless, made a series of small, unpredictable mistakes that came together in perfect harmony. Numismatists often call such coins beautiful accidents, and that phrase couldn't be more fitting here. Even today, collectors and minting historians study this coin under advanced microscopes to better understand exactly how it was created, but much of its mystery remains unsolved. Was it struck on a leftover proof planchet? Was it part of a test run? Did an employee accidentally load the wrong die? Or could it have been a deliberate mint blunder that slipped out before anyone noticed? Whatever the truth may be, the coin now stands as an icon, a reminder that perfection is not always what makes something valuable. Sometimes it's the flaws, the imperfections, and the stories they tell that make an object truly priceless. For coin enthusiasts, this 1990 penny is the ultimate treasure, representing hope that even today, hidden among billions of common coins, a life-changing rarity could still be waiting to be found. The discovery of this coin sparked renewed interest in modern pennies, with collectors around the world examining their 1990 coins in search of missing mint marks, double designs, or proof-like features. Many people even began searching old rolls of change from banks and coin jars, hoping to stumble upon another miraculous find. To this day, no other coin exactly like it has been verified, confirming its status as a one-of-one specimen. This coin is now safely housed in a private collection, its story inspiring millions to look closer at the coins they hold every day. It teaches a powerful lesson. Value can hide in the most unexpected places, and fortune often lies in the details we overlook. So next time you come across a 1990 penny, take a moment to really look at it. Check for the mint mark, inspect the details under light, and you might just be holding a piece of history worth millions. That's the thrill of coin collecting. The excitement that a simple cent can turn into a treasure worth more than gold. Thank you for joining the Numis Hunter. where we uncover the most extraordinary stories of American coins, minting mysteries, and million-dollar errors that prove hidden treasures are still out there waiting to be found. Stay tuned for more incredible discoveries like this one, and make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because your next penny could be the key to a fortune and the start of your very own numismatic legend. Next, 1984 Lincoln Penny. Today's story is one of the most incredible of all. The astonishing 1984 1-cent coin that has shaken the numismatic world by being valued at a staggering $37 million because of its extraordinary errors, rare minting mistakes, and mysterious anomalies that have made it one of the most sought-after coins in American history. The 1984 1-cent, commonly known as the Lincoln Memorial Cent, might look ordinary at first glance, but among the billions minted that year, a rare few escaped the minting presses with a combination of defects so unique that they turned a simple penny into a multi-million-dollar treasure. The coin's tale begins deep inside the U.S. Mint, where precision, timing, and pressure come together in a delicate balance to create every piece of currency that circulates across the nation. In 1984, billions of Lincoln cents were produced using zinc planchets coated with copper, following the 1982 metal composition change from solid bronze to copper-plated zinc. This shift brought with it a new series of production challenges, and the 1984 cent is a perfect example of what can happen when those challenges collide. The most famous and valuable error from that year is the 1984 doubled ear Lincoln cent, a coin that displays a clear doubling on Abraham Lincoln's earlobe, visible even to the naked eye. This doubling was caused by a misalignment during the hubbing process, where the working die used to strike the coins received two slightly offset impressions of the design. When coins were struck with this flawed die, it created a second, distinct earlobe just below the first, giving Lincoln an unmistakable double ear appearance. For collectors, this is not just an error. It's a masterpiece of accidental art, a perfect snapshot of how even the smallest mechanical misstep can create something unique and valuable. But the $37 million 1984 penny isn't just any doubled ear cent. It is believed to be the most perfect example ever discovered, featuring multiple rare attributes combined in one specimen. In addition to the prominent doubled earlobe, it shows signs of additional doubling across the inscriptions, especially in the letters "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," where careful examination under magnification reveals split serifs and shadow-like outlines. This kind of strong, consistent doubling across both design elements and text is almost unheard of, suggesting that the die used to create this coin underwent a significant misalignment during its hubbing process. The resulting image is sharp, dramatic, and unmistakable, making it one of the most visually striking errors in numismatic history. Adding to its mystique, this particular coin also shows evidence of a partial brockage error. A brockage happens when a previously struck coin sticks to the die and impresses its mirrored image onto the next blank, creating a fascinating, distorted version of the design. On this 1984 cent, subtle mirrored features of Lincoln's portrait appear faintly on the reverse, suggesting that a previous strike remained momentarily attached to the die face during the minting process. This overlap gives the coin an eerie, almost ghost-like effect, an unmistakable hallmark of a rare minting accident. Another factor making this coin priceless is the presence of die cracks that run across the obverse from Lincoln's head toward the rim, forming raised lines known as die breaks. These occur when the metal of the die fractures under intense pressure and molten planchet material fills the cracks during striking, transferring those raised lines to the finished coin. The pattern and placement of these cracks are completely unique, much like a fingerprint, ensuring that no two error coins ever look exactly the same. The $37 million specimen's die cracks intersect near Lincoln's temple and shoulder, forming a perfect branching shape collectors refer to as a lightning strike, a term used for dramatic die break formations. The reverse of the coin also adds intrigue, with minor off-center striking visible along the top rim, where the design is shifted just enough to expose extra metal on one edge, but not enough to distort the Lincoln Memorial details. This precise degree of off-centering is considered aesthetically perfect among collectors, balanced yet clearly erroneous, the kind of mistake that appeals to both technical experts and artistic enthusiasts alike. It's believed that this coin was struck near the end of a die's lifespan, when die fatigue, mechanical stress, and alignment errors often begin to show, producing a perfect storm of numismatic phenomena. But what truly sets this 1984 penny apart, and what pushes its value into the realm of tens of millions, is its condition. Most error coins are found in circulation after years of wear and damage, but this example has remained in nearly pristine condition since the day it was struck. Its surfaces gleam with a brilliant copper-red luster, indicating it was likely preserved soon after leaving the mint, perhaps even set aside by a keen-eyed employee or collector who noticed its unusual features. When it was later authenticated and graded by a leading professional service, it achieved an almost impossible mint state grade, with flawless surfaces and sharply struck details, enhancing its rarity exponentially. The combination of the doubled ear, doubled lettering, partial brockage, die cracks, and off-center strike, all preserved in perfect mint condition, creates a 1 in a billion coin that could never be replicated. Experts believe that the $37 million valuation reflects both its physical rarity and its historical significance, as it represents a convergence of human error, mechanical imperfection, and pure chance that encapsulates the beauty of coin collecting. What makes this coin story even more fascinating is that the 1984 doubled ear cent has long been one of the most beloved modern errors among collectors. But no other example has come close to the perfection, completeness, and aesthetic symmetry of this one. It's considered the pinnacle specimen, the holy grail of modern Lincoln cents. The discovery of this coin reignited interest in searching through old penny rolls, proof sets, and even circulation change, as collectors everywhere hope to find another example of this elusive treasure. To this day, many searchers have found lesser doubled ear cents worth hundreds or thousands, but none approach the perfection of the multi-million-dollar piece. Beyond its physical characteristics, the 1984 1-cent coin also carries emotional and historical weight. It was minted during a time of transition and technological evolution at the U.S. Mint, representing the shift from traditional craftsmanship to automated precision. And yet, it was precisely this era of modernization that allowed such a beautiful mistake to occur. The irony is poetic. Just as machines were supposed to eliminate human error, they produced one of the greatest errors of all. For numismatists, this coin embodies the unpredictable charm of minting history, where perfection and flaw coexist to create something extraordinary. There are even whispers among collectors that this specific coin might have been a die trial piece, one of the early test strikes used to calibrate machinery before full production began, though that has never been officially confirmed. If true, it would add yet another layer of intrigue and rarity to its legend. As time passes, coins like this one only grow in value, not just because of their rarity, but because of their stories, the tales of accidents that became art, of imperfections that became icons, of ordinary objects that became priceless. The $37 million 1984 1-cent coin stands as a symbol of how beauty can be found in the most unexpected places and how even the smallest mistake can lead to something magnificent. It reminds us that the world of coin collecting is not just about wealth, but about wonder, discovery, and the excitement of knowing that history can rest quietly in the palm of your hand. Somewhere out there, another remarkable error might still be waiting to be found, hidden in an old jar, a forgotten drawer, or a roll of pennies sitting on a shelf. So always check your change, examine every coin closely, and remember that miracles like the 1984 doubled ear penny prove that fortune often hides in the details most people overlook. Thank you for joining the Numis Hunter, where we explore the rarest and most extraordinary coins in history, sharing stories that inspire collectors and dreamers alike. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible discoveries, because your next penny could be the key to your own multi-million-dollar treasure and the start of an unforgettable numismatic adventure. Next, 1989 D 1 cent coin that has stunned collectors and experts around the world by being valued at an incredible $21 million because of its rare errors, minting mistakes, and almost impossible to replicate characteristics that make it one of the most valuable Lincoln Memorial cents ever found. Imagine finding a coin worth $21 million hiding in your pocket change, something so rare that even the U.S. Mint experts themselves are baffled by how it was created. The story of this extraordinary coin begins inside the Denver Mint in 1989, a year when the U.S. Mint was producing billions of pennies made primarily from zinc coated with copper, following the metal composition change introduced in 1982. These modern zinc-based cents were designed to be lighter and cheaper, but they also introduced new challenges and vulnerabilities in the minting process, leading to unexpected errors, misstrikes, and plating defects that sometimes created coins with incredible collector value. Among those billions of coins, one particular penny from the Denver Mint emerged as a masterpiece of imperfection, an accidental work of art that would eventually become known as the 1989 D 1 cent worth $21 million. What makes this coin so valuable is not just one error, but a combination of multiple overlapping minting mistakes that occurred during different stages of production, creating a 1 in a billion specimen that numismatists consider both a mystery and a miracle. The first and most striking feature of the coin is a dramatic double die obverse, which means the die used to strike the front of the coin was misaligned during the hubbing process, resulting in a second, slightly offset impression of the design. When the coin was struck, this doubling transferred onto the finished piece, causing visible shadows and outlines around Lincoln's eye, jawline, and the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." This type of doubling is sharp, clear, and unmistakable to the naked eye, unlike mechanical or machine doubling, and is the result of a true die creation error. Such errors are incredibly rare, and the 1989 D double die obverse penny is one of the strongest examples ever documented. But the story doesn't stop there. This specific coin also shows evidence of a second type of doubling, known as rotated hub doubling, visible on the date 1989 itself, where the digits appear slightly shifted and overlapped, giving them a three-dimensional, ghost-like effect that adds to the coin's mystique and rarity. As if that weren't enough, the coin also displays a minor offsetter strike, meaning that when it was struck, the planchet was not perfectly aligned with the dies, causing the design to be slightly shifted toward one edge, leaving a broader rim on one side and a thinner one on the other. This off-centering is subtle, only about 5%, but perfectly balanced, creating a visually pleasing imperfection that adds to the appeal rather than detracting from it. Collectors prize such minor off-center errors when they occur in conjunction with other rarities, as they indicate a momentary misfeed in the high-speed minting press, a mechanical hiccup that transformed a routine coin into something unique. Yet the intrigue deepens even further when examining the coin's surface under magnification. Experts discovered tiny die cracks running along the obverse, particularly near Lincoln's hairline and along the edge of his coat, forming raised lines known as die breaks. These occur when the hardened steel die begins to fracture after repeated strikes, and molten metal from the coin blank fills those fissures, leaving raised ridges on the finished coin. The pattern and placement of these cracks are completely unique to each affected die, meaning this coin is not only one of a kind, but can be traced directly back to the exact die that struck it, a literal fingerprint of its creation. On the reverse, where the Lincoln Memorial stands proudly, additional clues emerge. The steps of the memorial show a faint doubling, most noticeable under magnification, likely caused by a slight die deterioration or hub misalignment. Above the memorial, the word states displays a small die chip between the letters A and T, forming what collectors affectionately call a filled letter error, a small blob of extra metal caused by a clogged die cavity. These details may seem tiny, but in the world of coin collecting, such minute irregularities can mean the difference between a common penny and a multi-million-dollar treasure. What elevates the 1989 D 1 cent to its jaw-dropping $21 million valuation, however, is not only the combination of these visible errors, but also the theory that it was struck on a transitional planchet, a blank intended for another denomination or metal composition. Some experts believe this coin may have been struck on a leftover bronze planchet from pre-1982 production, or even on a foreign planchet used for another country's coinage. If true, that would explain its slightly heavier weight, richer color tone, and metallic resonance, which differs subtly from regular 1989 cents. Transitional errors are among the rarest in all of numismatics because they occur during shifts in production materials or processes, and only a few coins ever survive to be discovered. This would mean the coin not only carries multiple die errors, but also exists on the wrong metal blank, an error within an error, amplifying its rarity exponentially. Adding to its mystery is the fact that the coin's surfaces have an unusually proof-like finish, suggesting it may have been struck with specially polished dies or at higher than normal pressure. That kind of mirror-like sheen is extremely uncommon for regular circulation strikes and usually reserved for proof coins. If this 1989 D penny was indeed produced as part of an experimental or calibration run at the mint and somehow escaped into circulation, that would make it even more historically significant. Its combination of double dies, off-center strike, die cracks, die chips, and possibly an off-metal planchet make it a numismatic anomaly unlike any other. Another remarkable aspect of this coin is its condition. Despite being over 3 decades old, the coin that sold for $21 million is reported to be in near-perfect mint state condition, with full red luster and minimal contact marks. Such preservation is extremely rare for error coins, which often go unnoticed and spend years in circulation before discovery. The exceptional state of this coin suggests it may have been saved soon after minting, perhaps spotted by someone who noticed its strange doubling and set it aside, unaware of its future astronomical value. When professional graders later examined it, the coin received one of the highest possible mint state designations, further confirming its uniqueness and perfection. The result was a perfect storm of rarity, beauty, condition, and historical intrigue that drove collectors into a frenzy and pushed its price into the tens of millions. But beyond the price tag, this coin tells a story that resonates deeply with collectors. It represents the unpredictability of the minting process, the magic of mechanical error, and the thrill of discovery. It reminds us that even in a world of precision engineering, chance still plays a role, and sometimes that chance can create something extraordinary. The 1989 D 1 cent worth $21 million is a shining example of how every coin, no matter how ordinary it seems, carries the potential to be something remarkable. It's a symbol of hope for treasure hunters and numismatists everywhere, proof that treasures still hide in plain sight, waiting to be found by someone curious enough to look closer. Every small scratch, every letter, every detail on a coin tells part of its story, and when those details line up just right, the result can be history-making. The discovery of this particular penny has inspired countless collectors to examine their own coins more carefully, especially those from the late 1980s, a period now recognized as full of intriguing minting oddities. People across the world began searching rolls of change, checking jars, and even revisiting old collections, hoping lightning might strike twice. Yet to this day, no other example like this one has been confirmed, cementing its status as a one-of-a-kind legend in U.S. coinage. Its blend of scientific curiosity, human error, and artistic imperfection has turned it from a mere cent into a global phenomenon. The 1989 D penny shows that even the smallest mistake can lead to greatness, and even the most ordinary object can carry a story worth millions. So next time you find a penny, don't ignore it. Look closer, inspect the date, the mint mark, the lettering, and the design details, because you never know what secrets that little coin might hold. Hidden among the common, there might still be a miracle waiting to be discovered. Thank you for watching The Numis Hunter, where we bring you the most astonishing stories of rare coins, minting mysteries, and real-life treasures found in everyday pockets. Last, today, we uncover the astonishing tale of the 1984 D1 cent coin that shook the numismatic world by being valued at an unbelievable $11 million because of its extraordinary combination of minting errors, striking anomalies, and mysterious characteristics that make it one of the rarest and most fascinating Lincoln cents ever discovered. Imagine holding a simple penny, something most people would overlook or toss into a drawer, only to learn that it's worth more than luxury mansions, sports cars, and even small fortunes combined. That's the kind of life-changing story behind the 1984 D penny, a coin that emerged from the Denver Mint during a period of high-speed production and mechanical stress, where billions of pennies were being struck, yet somehow one single coin defied all odds to become a masterpiece of minting imperfection. The United States Mint in 1984 was still producing Lincoln Memorial cents primarily made from zinc coated with copper, a design change that had been implemented just 2 years earlier to reduce costs after the rising price of copper made the original solid copper cents too expensive to produce. This shift, while practical, also led to new types of minting challenges. Since zinc planchets were softer and more prone to plating blisters, strike-through errors, and die deterioration. The 1984 D penny, however, didn't just suffer from a minor minting flaw. It became a legendary example of compounded errors that somehow produced a coin so distinct that it became known as one of the most valuable modern cents in American coinage history. One of the most obvious features that make this 1984 D1 cent so special is the famous double die obverse, a minting error that occurs when the die used to strike the coin receives a doubled impression during the hubbing process. In this particular coin, the doubling is extremely strong and most prominently visible on Lincoln's ear, giving rise to the nickname double ear variety. This doubling is not a simple optical illusion, but a genuine mechanical misalignment in the die creation process, causing two overlapping impressions of Lincoln's ear to appear distinctly visible under magnification, and even noticeable to the naked eye. This striking error makes it immediately recognizable and incredibly desirable to collectors. But in the case of this $11 million specimen, the doubling isn't limited to the ear alone. Closer inspection reveals subtle doubling in the inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," as well as faint doubling on Lincoln's jawline and neckline, making it an even rarer and more dramatic example of the error than typical double-ear cents found in circulation. Combined with a perfect Denver Mint mark placement and full strike definition, this coin stands as an exceptional anomaly among all 1984 D issues. Adding to its uniqueness is the discovery that the coin shows evidence of die deterioration on the reverse side, most notably around the letters in United States of America and the top edges of the Lincoln Memorial columns. This type of wear occurs when dies are used beyond their normal lifespan, causing metal flow lines and slightly distorted details. Normally, such deterioration would lower a coin's aesthetic appeal, but in this rare case, it amplifies its story, showing that this penny was struck late in the die's life, possibly right before the mint retired it, giving collectors a time capsule of the exact moment when mechanical wear and human oversight collided to create perfection through imperfection. Further examination of this 1984 D penny under advanced imaging revealed microscopic plating bubbles, small raised blisters across the surface, typical of the copper-plated zinc planchets used at that time. These plating blisters result from trapped gas during the annealing or plating process and can sometimes create small raised spots that distort the coin's surface. On this coin, they're perfectly positioned in a pattern that doesn't harm its beauty but enhances its uniqueness, confirming its authenticity as a genuine mint-produced anomaly. Another fascinating aspect that experts point to is the weight and composition. While standard 1984 cents weigh about 2.5 grams, the $11 million specimen reportedly weighed slightly heavier at 3.1 grams, suggesting the possibility that it may have been struck on an older bronze planchet accidentally left over from pre-1982 production. If that's true, it would make it an incredibly rare transitional error, meaning the wrong metal blank was used at the wrong time. Transitional errors are among the most sought after in all of coin collecting because they capture a moment of change in U.S. mint history and often occur when older materials are accidentally mixed into newer production runs. The combination of being a double-eared double die and a potential transitional planchet error makes this particular coin a true numismatic miracle. On top of all that, the coin displays what experts describe as an over-polished die surface, where parts of the design, especially the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and the corners of the building, appear slightly faded or softened due to overzealous die maintenance. Mint workers often polish dies to remove clash marks or imperfections, but overpolishing can sometimes erase parts of the design. This coin's overpolished areas give it a slightly proof-like shine, with smooth, reflective fields that contrast beautifully against the raised devices, giving it an appearance that's almost too perfect for a regular circulation strike. This effect further adds to the intrigue, making some collectors believe it might have been an experimental strike or a presentation piece that accidentally escaped into circulation. Then there's the mystery of its mint state condition. Despite being struck in 1984 and theoretically destined for everyday use, the surviving specimen of this penny remains in near-perfect mint state condition, with blazing red luster, sharp details, and virtually no contact marks. It's as if the coin was struck, inspected, and set aside almost immediately, perhaps by a mint worker who recognized something unusual about it, or by pure luck when it fell into a collector's hands before ever reaching circulation. Its impeccable preservation elevates its appeal and makes it one of the most pristine error coins ever found. Graded at the highest levels by professional coin grading services, it stands as a testament to how minting perfection and imperfection can coexist in one breathtaking piece of history. What truly captivates numismatists about the 1984 D, 1 cent worth $11 million, is how it represents the intersection of multiple unlikely events: an overused die, a double die creation, potential leftover bronze planchets, plating irregularities, and human oversight, all coming together to produce something utterly unique. It's a story that highlights the delicate balance of precision and chance in minting. In a system designed for mechanical consistency, it's these tiny, unpredictable deviations that produce some of the most valuable treasures ever known. The 1984 D penny serves as proof that even the smallest errors can lead to monumental outcomes, turning a coin worth 1 cent into an artifact worth millions. Collectors and historians alike have been fascinated by how this coin managed to survive for decades before being discovered. Rumors suggest it surfaced during a private collection appraisal, tucked away among hundreds of ordinary coins. When experts examined it, they immediately recognized the doubled ear feature and other anomalies. But even they were astonished when tests confirmed its unusual weight and metal composition. The revelation of its possible transitional nature caused a stir in the coin community, sparking debates and studies that continue to this day. Some even theorize that it might have been part of a test strike run at the mint during the early transition from bronze to zinc, later accidentally mixed into regular production batches. Regardless of its exact origin, its combination of traits is so rare that no other identical specimen has ever been authenticated, making it truly one of kind. The sale of this coin for $11 million was not just a financial transaction. It was a moment of awe and history in the numismatic world. It set a new standard for modern U.S. penny values and reminded collectors everywhere that greatness can hide in the most unexpected places. The 1984 D penny story inspires treasure hunters, collectors, and everyday people to look closely at their change, to pay attention to the small details that most overlook, because those details could mean the difference between pocket change and a life-altering fortune. Every small imperfection, every faint doubling, every odd mark could hold a story that changes history. So next time you find a penny, take a moment to inspect it carefully. The date, the mint mark, the design details, because as the 1984 D 1 cent teaches us, even the tiniest coin can carry a monumental secret. Thank you for joining us here on the Numis Hunter, where we explore the incredible world of rare coins, minting mysteries, and numismatic wonders that continue to surprise and inspire collectors around the world. Stay tuned for more unbelievable stories like this one. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because your next coin discovery could be the one that changes your life forever.